Hey, hey, ho, ho. Time to do the YouTube show. Hi, guys. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, I think, but we're back. I'm back with another episode of the Cosmic Alliance of the Fist. Thank you for watching. It's been a exciting 2 weeks. So I've gone on vacation since my last episode, and I've also ended my time at my previous job. So a lot's happened. With the job, I worked at this particular job for about 8 years. Worked very hard for 8 years. The pay was good. I worked my way up within the company, but it was time to move on. Sometimes a job is just not vibing with you anymore, and sometimes you have to look out for your personal health as well as your mental well-being, and sometimes you're just not enjoying the job you're doing. So life is very short. So sometimes it's best to move on, take a shot in the dark, and take the leap of faith. So I'll proudly announce right here that I am in the exclusive club of the unemployed right now. I'm actively looking for work. I'm not turning into a bum here, but that's part of the reason I'm doing the show, is to stay productive and keep my voice going, keep talking, and just stay with it. Because obviously I got a lot of movies and games here. I could sit and veg out and not do anything and let my wife pay all the bills and work, but I'm not that kind of guy. So we're gonna find something else somewhere, and we're gonna make some good money and brighter things ahead. But I want to thank everybody at my previous job for being my friend and my coworker all these years. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and best of luck to all of you if you're listening. I'm going to miss you all, but on to better things. So, and that brings me to the vacation my wife and I went on right after I left my job. Literally a day later, we packed up and took a nice trip down to the Outer Banks for our anniversary, and what an amazing time. We stayed in Nag's Head, which is just a beautiful area. We dodged the hurricane by a hair. There was no damage at all. A little bit of sand on the roads, a couple road closures, but nothing catastrophic happened down there. And I'm glad that it doesn't seem like anybody's homes were destroyed. There's a little bit of flooding, but I don't think any casualties or anything like that. And that's when you're thinking about your vacations and storms, just put the people who live down there in front of your vacation, because you never want to see anybody lose their home or lose loved ones. So God bless all of them. Everybody seemed to be okay down there. There was no damage. But we had an amazing time just driving up and down the coast, seeing the lighthouses and the natural dunes. It was the national seashore, so it was protected. And we did a lot of fun stuff. And but I think the best part of the whole trip was having my beautiful wife right there beside me for the whole thing. So I want to thank her, because she's the one that plans all this stuff, and she's excellent at it. And it'll be a trip I never forget. And Pittsburgh is a terrible place. I'll say that. I'm not afraid to admit it. I hate the city. That's part of the reason I left my job previously, because it was a lot of city driving, and I've just had it. It's very anxiety inducing, and a lot of construction and a lot of subpar driving from other drivers. Like I said, I've been driving for 8 years, but I can't control how other people are on the roads out there. So I feel very blessed to be not doing that anymore. And this city is, I know there's a lot of people who are proud of Pittsburgh and they think it's a great place. And I'll just say right now, I think they need mental help. Because just traveling the world over the past few years with my wife, I'm not proud of Pittsburgh at all. I think it's, our local politicians here don't know how to run the place. They don't know how to manage money well. There's a homeless problem, and I feel bad for all those people, but it's not being dealt with, and the city's priorities are terrible. And I could go on and on about this, but me and my wife plan to get out of this town soon, because it's very draining, and the sports teams aren't any good. I won't get into that. This isn't a sports show, but hopefully the future has some brighter things. But we had a wonderful time in Nag's Head, and I'd love to go back someday, but there's a whole world to explore, so we'll see when we can get back down there. But everything was perfect up until the end, which coming home was a little upsetting because we had to go through Hampton Roads. And if anybody knows anything about Hampton Roads, this is the big vampire problem that's still to this day down there. It's amazing. In 2025, we're still dealing with that. It's ridiculous, but I won't get into that. But I did get 2 souvenirs while I was in the Outer Banks. I got this nice Outer Banks t-shirt, as you can see, nice blue color. Sensations, $12. Pretty awesome shirt. But I also, a shout out to this store as well. So I also like to do a nice toy segment on these shows. I found this at a place called Kitty Hawk Kites. Nothing to do with the Outer Banks really, but it's Wario. So there's my generation. There's currently 2 sex symbols: Sydney Sweeney, and then the Wario. So I thought, what better souvenir than this Mario Kart Wario toy? I'm going to keep it in the case and cherish it as a souvenir from the Outer Banks forever. So one last look. How cool. You don't always find things like this, especially Wario. So I'll hang on to that and find a nice spot for it on the shelf. But okay, so we'll get into today's physical media extravaganza. So today we're going to call this a Freaky Friday, and what that means is it's just going to be totally random. I just pulled 10 movies off my shelf, Blu-rays and DVDs, and we're just going to talk about them. No theme today, just because I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. Coming back from vacation and the job search, taking things one at a time. So let's take it easy today, and I pulled 10 films from my shelf. So let's start talking about them. And we got our little bread guy here, and I'm getting some practice with the format here. So what I'm going to do first, we're going to talk about the movie, and I made sure I've seen all these ones today. No surprises. We're going to talk about the cover art. We're going to talk about the special features, and then I'll show you the disc and give you some of my closing thoughts on it. So without further ado, let's get to it and start this episode of Cosmic Alliance of the Fist. So the first movie I have for us today is a movie called Night Swim. Let's see if you can see it there. Now, I watched this about a year ago, I think last August. With friends and family, we set up a nice projector on the porch. We bought a projector at Walmart. They're not very expensive, and they're actually really cool if you're having a cookout. We wanted to get it down at the swimming pool, because the movie's called Night Swim, so we figured what better place to watch it than in the pool, maybe at sunset. But the logistics of that were just a little difficult at the time, so we're going to work on that at the future. But not a good movie at all, by any means. I don't think anybody enjoyed it. It's about a haunted swimming pool, if you believe it or not. There's a ghost in the filter, and it kind of sucks you in. It's terrible. It wasn't good at all, which is disappointing because the lead actor he's a guy named Wyatt Russell, and he's, speak of the devil, right behind me, right here, Mr. Kurt Russell from Escape from New York. It's his son, and he's a terrific actor. But this was a flop. This was not good. It really didn't make much sense. I won't spoil anything, because if you plan to watch it, I hope you avoid it. It's not very good. But if you plan to watch it, it doesn't make much sense. And which is surprising. It's a Universal movie. Universal usually, big budget, puts out bangers. But this was a miss. But we all had a good time either way. We were chilling on the deck, and we had a cookout and a fire, and we threw up the projector, and the weather was beautiful. So we enjoyed the time. I can't say the movie was that good, but here it is today. I bought the Blu-ray for the occasion. But you can see the cover right here. There's a girl kind of in a swimming pool, and she looks pretty scared. So obviously, not so good shenanigans happening in this pool. So here is the back. I'll take a look at it myself. Yeah, it's just got some of the characters on it. There's a digital code in this too. I don't think I redeemed it, just because I don't care to, because this was not a good movie by any means. So doubtful I'll ever watch it again, but I'll keep the Blu-ray in my collection and maybe possibly donate it at some point. If some poor soul out there ever wants to watch it. So let's talk about the special features. Here's a quote on the back: "A satisfying plunge into backyard terror." I don't know about satisfying, but bonus features: Masters of Fear, Demons from the Depths. So I guess just a making of. I'm not really sure. And then it comes with the digital copy, like I said. Rated PG-13, so if you got some younger kids, it is appropriate for them. Like I said, it's about a haunted swimming pool. I don't remember it being very gory. It's kind of sort of possession movie, but not perfect by any means. If you're going to watch it for Wyatt Russell. He's been in a lot lately. He's U.S. agent in the Avengers and whatever, the Thunderbolts now. He's a great actor, and his father's probably one of my favorite actors of all time, Kurt Russell. So if you're going to watch it for any reason, watch it for him. I don't recall if there's any other big actors in it, but I'll show you the disc now. Take it out of the slipcover. And there's the digital code there. I'm just going to flash that real fast. And this is a DVD Blu-ray combo. So I'll try and set it up here without knocking our loaf of bread over. I'll try and move that over a little bit. Sorry about the glare there. Night Swim, Blu-ray, and DVD. Just red, basic text. But that's that one. Night Swim. You can skip it. Put the digital copy back in. I don't know if I'll ever redeem that. I don't see why I would. And I love redeeming digital copies because, like I said, I've said before, if you redeem those, they go to your YouTube account or whatever. If you're bored at the airport or something, you want to watch a movie, you have it on your YouTube account or your Google account until they take it from you someday. Can't get the slipcover back on. We'll worry about that later. Moving on, what do we got next? This is a good one. King Kong, I believe maybe 2004, 2005 with Jack Black, I think it was. I found this. I don't remember when I watched this movie originally. This is a steelbook, by the way, and I found it at Big Lots. Sorry about the glare there. It's still I've never opened it because I've never had the urge to watch this movie again. I remember it being a good movie. Scary at some parts. Just some big bugs, too. And that they were terrifying, especially when I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade when this came out. I might even be in 5th grade. I can't remember. Good special effects. This is kind of when CGI was sort of peaking. Because now everything's pretty much CGI, but I think this was considered groundbreaking when, you know, a giant gorilla that wasn't a guy in a suit. It was complete CGI. And all the creatures on the island. I can't remember for the life of me when I first saw this. It's an awesome movie. I think I watched it so much when it came out. I haven't watched it recently in a while. Good actors. Adrian Brody, who's still pretty relevant. Naomi Watts, I don't know if she's in much anymore. I think she kind of made her money and just does what she wants now. Terrific actress. And then Jack Black, I don't know why he was in it. He's kind of a comedy actor, but they put him in King Kong for some reason. I don't remember his character being hysterical or comic relief. Maybe at some parts. Maybe I should rewatch this, but let's take a look at the cover art. Like I said, it's still in the plastic, so that you're getting a little bit of a glare there. I found this at Big Lots, and I've just never opened it. $5 for a steelbook. You can't beat that at all. So that's awesome. Take a look at the back. I love how the steelbooks. Some of these steelbooks have sort of like a comic book sort of format to them, and makes them look a little nostalgic. But since I've never opened this, let's do a little unboxing today. Let's see if I can open this up, and we can take a look at the disc inside. I'll read you the special features first. Picture-in-picture. With just one click, access interactive cast and crew interviews and behind-the-scenes footage using the picture-in-picture feature. So I guess you can kind of learn about the movie as you're watching it. Art galleries. Fascinating production of this unforgettable film. I don't know if it's unforgettable. Conceptual art renderings. Feature commentary with writer-director Peter Jackson. Now that I would be interested in listening to. Peter Jackson, he's one of the best filmmakers out there. So it would be interesting to just listen to his thoughts on this movie. Let me try and get this out of the plastic here for you, and we can take a look at the disc. Because it never opened. And this movie was huge when it came out. I remember t-shirts. There's a lot of merchandising for it. Jeez Louise. This plastic's on here tight. First time laying eyes on this disc, so let's take a look and then show it to all of you. Oh, this is extended and theatrical versions. I didn't know there was an extended version of King Kong. This comes with a digital copy as well. Give it a quick flash. That way nobody can steal it. And we have a DVD and a Blu-ray. And I'll put this up here so everybody can see. There we go. Sorry about the glare there, but you can see the Blu-ray is just basic, blue and gray, kind of like most Blu-rays. But then it looks like the DVD has King Kong on it. So look at him peeking around back there. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Now, was this 2005? Someone could comment if they remember when this came out. I could read the fine print on the back, but I'm getting up there in age, so I can't really see these. I'm going to need cheaters at some point here. But I guess it holds up to this day. There's been so many King Kong movies now. I do like the recent King Kong movies, like Kong vs. Godzilla. But this one will always stand out as sort of unique. Like they said on the back here, unforgettable. Maybe. But we'll put the digital copy back in. I could redeem that and have it on YouTube if I ever had the itch to watch it. Let's keep it going. This one's cool. So I'm not gonna. This one's still in the plastic too. I'm not gonna open this one. But sentimental to me because I did watch this with my mom and dad and my brothers when this first happened, and I found this at a flea market in a church basement a couple weeks ago for $1. Super Bowl 40. Pittsburgh Steelers versus, who was it? Seattle Seahawks? Not too much mention of Seattle on here. I think it was Seattle. Yeah, I believe it was. Good Super Bowl. That was like kind of when I first really got into football was when the Super Bowl run happened for the Steelers. Awesome game. Tons of good plays. I believe that was the James Harrison run back for a touchdown, and he had the oxygen. It was hilarious, but what a wild game. And I remember watching that with my family all those years ago, and we were kind of annoyed the next day because I think some of the inner city schools had off school the next day because it was Sunday night because there was I don't know if it was rioting, but we'll call it heavy celebrating downtown. Where maybe you threw a match in a dumpster and poured some gasoline on it in celebration. I think some of that kind of stuff was going on. So a lot of the inner city kids didn't have to go to school the next day. But we lived about an hour outside the city, so we had to go to school the next day. But it was cool because you were able to talk about the game, and there was a lot of celebration. They got an intercoms. Everybody got to sing, "Let's go Steelers." So it was a fun time. But I'll never forget that Super Bowl. Because it was I was still a young kid at the time, so it got me real hyped up and got me real into football. So I'll never forget it. I'm not going to open this because I'm not going to put this in a DVD player and rewatch Super Bowl 40. I could watch the best clips of it on YouTube if I want. I don't remember who was the halftime for that show. I don't recall, but I don't even know if the halftime show will be on this. But I can't remember. Was it Aerosmith maybe? But regardless, let's take a look at the back too. Let's see what we got going on. Just some details. Let's see what the special features are. Yeah, it was against the Seahawks. Oh, Jerome Bettis. I think this was Bettis' last game. I could be incorrect about that. I think he retired after this. I'm not really understanding what a lot of the special features are here. It looks like the biggest special feature here is a compilation of the best moments from Jerome Bettis in this season, and then it's got a retirement announcement from here. See, I'm assuming, yes, this would have been his last game. Super Bowl 40. Pretty awesome, if I may say so. And I will hang on to this because you never know. I got this for $1 and it's a special edition, so maybe someday this could be worth something. Probably not, but I'll keep it in the collection anyway. Moving on. This is a weird one. For any Nicolas Cage fans out there. Color Out of Space. Now, I bought this Blu-ray at Walmart. I think it was in the cheapo bin for maybe $4 or $5. I bought it maybe back in 2020, 2021. Not a perfect movie by any means. It's a sci-fi alien sort of movie. A family lives in a farmhouse and they're dealing with a really strange, bizarre alien invasion. I'm going to be honest with this one. When it comes to a Nicolas Cage movie, if it's like a Saturday night or something, I'm like, I want to watch this Nicolas Cage movie. I'm making sure I have beer with it because you never know with his movies. But I do. This was one of the details are kind of fuzzy on this one because I think I drank a lot of Bud Light Platinum as I was watching this one, and that's just how I watch movies sometimes. But very, very abstract and kind of psychedelic, as you can see from the cover. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare right there. Nick Cage is Nick Cage in every movie he does. It's kind of hard to take him seriously, but I think that's the point of his roles is kind of half serious and half like Nick Cage. But I don't remember being terrible. It was very interesting. I think the ending flopped a little bit. Because it's fuzzy. Because I think by the end of it, I was 5-6 beers in. So I always loved the design on the cover here. I thought the artwork was always really well done. I'll flip it to the back and see some of the characters. I think Nick Cage was the only big cast member in this. I don't remember anyone else being too relevant at the time. But it was a cool Nicolas Cage movie. Not perfect, like I said. Very psychedelic, and sometimes when you're having a lot of beer, it's always cool to see some like psychedelic filmmaking. So let's read off the special features and see what's going on. The making of Color Out of Space. So there's a documentary in here about the movie, how it was made, deleted scenes, and a photo gallery. So that's not too bad. I probably paid $5 for this, and you get a good bit of extras plus the movie. And it's based off an H.P. Lovecraft story. I'm not big into H.P. Lovecraft. I know a lot of his stories, like I said before, very psychedelic and a lot of tentacles. I think that's kind of his theme. I don't remember a whole lot of tentacles in this movie. Like I said, it was fuzzy, but it's definitely a cool one. And maybe if like a friend came over or something one night and we were just looking for a sci-fi horror movie to watch, maybe I'd rewatch this, pop it back in, but I don't think I'm going to check it out again anytime in the near future. But we'll take a look at the disc. And inside is an advertisement for the streaming service Shudder. I am not a member of it, but you can watch some really cool movies on there if you can. You can see another Nick Cage movie on the side here. That was Mandy. I recommend Mandy if you haven't seen that yet. That's kind of a little similar to this. It's very psychedelic, kind of Hellraiser-ish. But that was good too. That was another one. I had a little too much beer. That was during COVID when I watched Mandy, and there wasn't a whole lot to do except kind of drink and watch movies. We'll take a look at the disc, which is sort of just a transfer from the cover. Color Out of Space. Middle of the road movie. But I'll keep it in my collection just because I like the artwork on the front. Moving on. This one is called Incarnate. And I bought this. I saw it in theaters. I think it came out 2016, 2017-ish. I think more 2016. I was working at Target at the time. And I remember being somewhat disappointed because when you work at Target, you're not making a fortune. So going to the movies is kind of a bargain when you're not like loaded. So when you go to the movies when you're broke, you got to pay for the ticket and get popcorn. The whole experience is a little more stressful when you don't make as much money. But I remember my friends when I went to see this one night. Not a good movie at all. Pretty boring. It was about the only reason I bought the movie on DVDs because I'm a big Aaron Eckhart fan. You've seen him in The Dark Knight and Olympus Has Fallen. I think he's a great actor. Just the jawline on that guy is incredible. He's a handsome dude, good actor. And I've watched a lot of his movies, and I like to collect some of his movies. I have a couple of them. But in this movie, he was sort of an exorcist in a wheelchair, if I remember correctly, and he was trying to exorcise a demon out of a young boy. I remember Mark Henry was in it, World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry from WWE, and that was part of the reason I think I went to see it too, because I'm a big wrestling fan. But not too good of a movie, if I remember. It might have even been produced by WWE Studios. Maybe that's how they got Mark Henry in it. But this is an unrated version of the DVD. I don't have this on Blu-ray. I think all I could find was DVD at the time. I don't remember why I even bought it, because I didn't particularly like the movie. I think it was just because I like Aaron Eckhart, and I think he's kind of a badass actor. But other than that, it wasn't too memorable. And I believe this is still in the plastic as well. So I bought it after it hit theaters in 2016, and I never took it out of the plastic because I never watched it again. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to unbox it. We're going to take it out of the plastic and take a look at the disc, probably 10 years later. But first, the bonus features. First off, the disc includes the theatrical and unrated versions. I couldn't tell you the difference because I don't remember the theatrical version all that well. It wasn't memorable. But... And then there's a making of Incarnate, if you want to watch the making of documentary. So I hate to say this, I probably paid $25 for this when it first came out. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I don't know what I was thinking. But I have it. It's in my collection. I'm a big Aaron Eckhart fan, so I will keep it. Let's take it out of the plastic and lay eyes on the disc for the first time in almost 10 years. Listen to that crinkle. Nothing like that sound. And it is just your basic DVD. Nothing too fancy about the artwork. Incarnate. Rated... Oh, it's rated PG-13 and an unrated version. Nothing too amazing about this one. You can skip it unless you're a big Aaron Eckhart fan like I am. Then maybe give it a watch. Make sure you have some beer. Other than that, I'll keep it in the collection. Oh, it was produced by WWE Studios and Universal. And Blumhouse. Interesting. I didn't know Blumhouse was involved with this. Blumhouse did Get Out and the Halloween reboot, the 3 Halloween reboot movies, and a couple other good ones. So it's a shame that they were involved with this flop. Like I said, I think, if I remember correctly, it was an exorcist in a wheelchair. Moving on. Get some of this plastic out of the way since I'm showing you guys some of these for the first time. Oh, okay. Here's this one's a hit. Natural Born Killers. Quentin Tarantino's Natural Born Killers. I'd never seen this film before, but I believe it was 3 years ago when I found it for $15 at a half-price books. If you have a half-price books near you, they have a huge selection of DVDs and Blu-rays. You could find a lot of good ones there, and I often do. And this one, you can see the stickers right there, half-price books. That's one of them stores you can go into and be in there for hours. All the books and all the movies they have. But yeah, $15, so it wasn't a bad price. And this is like a super, like, sort of booklet edition Blu-ray of this. Love the movie, because it was the first time I watched it. Woody Harrelson, and then, what is her name? She's one of the Griswold kids. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Something Juliet. She's great though. Great film. And Robert Downey Jr., for crying out loud, he was in this. I'm not sure about this, but he looked coked off his ass. It comes off in the film, and it's an incredible, violent, gory, well shot movie, and I thought it was great. I won't talk about the plot because I think most people know what the movie's about. But kind of a Bonnie and Clyde sort of movie with sort of a psychedelic Quentin Tarantino twist to it. And I thought the ending was awesome. These two did an amazing job throughout the whole thing. One of my favorite scenes is the scene, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. They go into a pharmacy late at night because I think they both got snake venom in them. And they're going through this pharmacy, and there's a green filter over the camera, and it's just incredible. And this late night pharmacy, the atmosphere that it had, that was one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But definitely cool. One of those cult classics. You can't go wrong with Quentin Tarantino. I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan, but a lot of his movies are just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Excellent films. So this is Natural Born Killers. Let me take a look and see what the special features are. Like I said, this whole Blu-ray, I think I found this at a really good price because I'll hold it up. It's sort of like a booklet, and it's got the Blu-ray disc there as well. Definitely an awesome find for $15, even if it is used. And here's a quote on the front: "The best movie of the 90s, powerfully audacious filmmaking." I don't know if it's the best movie of the 90s. I'm sure that's very debatable. But as far as a crime film goes, a Tarantino crime film of the 90s, I'd say this is probably his best one. It really doesn't list too many of the special features. I think the majority of the special features for this Blu-ray is just like I said, this booklet in the case of the Blu-ray. So I think that's where you're getting your special features in this one, unless I can find some in here. You get a list of awards that the film's won. Juliette Lewis, that's her name. Apologize to her. Sorry. And Tommy Lee Jones, I forgot he was in this too. Good God. Just what an amazing cast. And here's your disc. Natural Born Killers with the yin and the yang. I'd have to pop the Blu-ray in itself to see what special features are on the disc because they are not listed in this booklet. Definitely a cool movie. A lot of artwork on the front and the back. And I just think it's amazing that these actors in this film, except Juliette Lewis, I don't think she does a whole lot these days, but I know Woody Harrelson and Robert Downey Jr. still going at it really hard. I don't have to fill you in on what they're involved with these days, but definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. But definitely a cool Blu-ray I found for a good price at a cool place, Half Price Books. We'll move on. Now this one, very underrated in my opinion. This is a comedy. So it is called Action Point, and it's a Johnny Knoxville movie. Enough said right there. But I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Johnny Knoxville runs like a sort of like a put together with duct tape amusement park. I think that's the best way to describe it. And it's a very dangerous place, but it's a place where kids can go to have fun, and it's a comedy drama. And Johnny Knoxville runs this place, and it's trying to get shut down by the local authorities because it's dangerous. But everybody loves the place anyway. Shenanigans. It's your basic Johnny Knoxville movie, like Bad Grandpa or The Ringer. I don't know if you can talk about The Ringer these days. It might be banned. But I love Johnny Knoxville. Say what you want about the guy. He gives it his all. Every single movie. He does his own stunts. I remember him doing an interview about this film, saying that he hit his head so hard and fractured his orbital bone during the production that he was at his hotel room and sneezed, and his eye popped out of the socket, and he was able to put it back in, and then he went to the hospital. But I think it's a shame that the movie flopped after he put himself through that. You sneeze and your eye pops out of your head, and you put this movie, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it flops. But that's the nature of showbiz, and he's still doing well. I think a Jackass movie came out last year. I'll always love Johnny Knoxville. He's hilarious, and he's a handsome devil, and he's going to go down in history as one of those MTV guys that just took off, and the world was his oyster. I saw this movie in theaters, I believe, with my one of my good friends, and there was nobody in the theater, so it was awesome, and it was hilarious. And there's this bear on the front here. I'm pretty sure this bear drinks a lot of beer and gets drunk, and it's your basic sort of Jackass style movie. But I always enjoyed it. I even bought a copy for my dad because I thought he loves slapstick comedy, so it's definitely awesome. But let's take a look. I know I redeemed the digital copy of this one because it's, like I said before, hilarious film. And if I ever need a good laugh, it's on my digital account. So special features. This is 2 discs, by the way. And here's a good summation of the movie. No rules, no speed limits, just pure fun. And sometimes that's what you need when you need wine at the end of the day, is a movie with no rules, no speed limits, just pure fun. I 100% agree with that. Disc 1, Blu-ray and feature film, includes deleted and extended scenes. Also includes Benny and the Shitbirds. I don't know what Benny and the Shitbirds are. Maybe that's a band? Or is that a reference to the movie? I haven't seen the movie in a few years, but I'll definitely rewatch it because it's hilarious. Anarchy in the Amusement Park. I believe that's another documentary, because this was based off a real park. I believe it was called Action Park. And same deal. I believe it was just basically an amusement park held together with electrical tape and duct tape. And I believe there were lawsuits, and it got shut down. But people loved it. Drinking beer with grizzly bear. So yes, there is a bear getting drunk. So if that's something that'll tickle your fancy, definitely check this movie out. But I'll pop it open, and we'll take a look at the disc. Yeah, digital copy, which I've definitely redeemed that already. And this is a combo pack, which I always love the combo packs. If you have the DVD player or the Blu-ray player, you're covered. So, awesome film. And I love Johnny Knoxville. I've always been a fan of his ever since I was a little kid. So I will definitely 100% always hang on to this. Moving on. Okay. This is a creepy one from the late 90s. Strange Land. I don't think this one is... I'm sure it has a cult following, but I don't think many people know about it. Strange Land. It stars Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, who is a serial killer who loves to abduct people and then give them body piercings, from what I remember. This was another one I watched on one of those bored nights where I happened to have some beer in the fridge and I wanted to watch a horror film. So Strange Land. Definitely a good slasher sort of film. But yeah, I kind of just gave you the plot right there. He's a deranged guy who he's kind of got a very poetic sort of demeanor to him, but he likes to kidnap people and give them tattoos and body piercings in really sort of not fun places, if you get what I'm saying. Because I think there's a scene where an unfortunate guy gets a piercing against his will in a very sensitive area. But I won't spoil anything else. But definitely 90s. You can see that right away when you watch it. I loved it because I love cheesy slasher films, and that's exactly what this was. I think it's underrated to this day. I don't think a lot of people know about it. Maybe they should do a continuation of it. I don't know what Dee Snider's up to these days, except complaining about politics on Twitter. That's the last I've heard of him, but good movie. So there's the back as well. And you can see Dee Snider there. He's got a bunch of body piercings because that's his sort of get-up in this movie is abduct people and pierce the hell out of them and mess with their bodies. And then it kills them. And he happens to do that to a young lady, and her father is a police officer, and a cat and mouse thing ensues. Loved it for what it was. It's a B horror movie, but it's excellent. Let's take a look at the special features. Widescreen version, digital Dolby surround. Okay, so a commentary by Dee Snider. I have not listened to that commentary, so maybe one night I can revisit this and get his thoughts on it. And interactive menus and a music video. So maybe I will pop this back in if ever curious one day and check out the music video and the commentary by Dee Snider. I think I found this DVD at a place called Sam Goody out in Ohio. Probably back, I'm going to say 2018, I believe I found it. Sam Goody, I think, is kind of the same place as FYE, if you've ever been to an FYE. Sam Goody, FYE, and there might even be one more DVD store in that chain. They're a dying breed. I think FYE is kind of making a comeback a little bit. I think they just sell Funko Pops now, which is still cool. Yeah, cool movie. Let me show you the disc. Pop out the disc, and I believe, yeah, it's one of these discs too. So if you take a look right there, it's got the little sort of text around the rim there, which means if you flip it over, that's the full screen version. Widescreen, full screen. I love DVDs that do that. I don't think they make those anymore. It might be just something you can select in the menu these days. But Strangeland, awesome, unique slasher film from the late 90s with Dee Snider. We're not gonna take it. And nobody will ever take that DVD from me because I love it. Okay, up next. Now, I have no interest in this show whatsoever. I'm a big Ozzy Osbourne fan, but I have never watched The Osbournes. But I found this DVD recently because I was at a flea market with my wife, and it was right after Mr. Ozzy passed away. I mean, within a week. He passed away in a week. We went to this flea market, and I remember going to one vendor who had a huge selection of board games. And not that I ever condone, capitalizing on people's death, but I saw this vendor. They had all these board games, and they had an Osbournes board game buried, and they didn't have it out front and center. I said to my wife, they should put that out there. It'll sell like instantly, and they'll make $10 or whatever they were charged for. And I said that I should go tell them, hey, put that out. Someone will definitely buy that right now. And my wife said to me, oh, you're an idiot. Nobody's thinking about that right now. But so we went down the hall to another vendor, and he had this out front and center, the Osbournes, season 1. And I'll admit, I have no interest in watching the Osbournes. I'm not a reality television guy. I'm sure people loved it when it came out. It's vulgar. It's reality television. Yeah, we won't go into that. But the guy had it out front and center because that's marketing. He knew it would sell instantly. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy it. It was $6. And my wife looked at me and said, whatever, you're still a moron. But that's how you market. And I don't condone capitalizing off of people's death. But if you're an Ozzy fan, that might be something that you could be into, like in 2025, because he just passed away, and this might be something you're interested in. So props to that gentleman who had the DVD out front and center because he knew it would sell that day. And I bought it right off. It was $6. I said, I'm never going to watch it. Like I said, if I want to watch it, I'm sure I can find it streaming somewhere, but I have no interest in watching it. I'm an Ozzy fan for his music. That's about it. His outside of the stage escapades, I have no idea. But I bought it just to prove my point that, that's how marketing works. There's a time and a place, and sometimes if an item's in the right place at the right time, it'll sell. And it did. So, we'll show you the back too. Tons of features with this. You probably can't read them right. I'll read off some for you. I'm sure you know what the Osbournes are about. More than 5 hours of bonus footage, including unaired footage, 2 Oz for TV, blooper reel, Ozzy's 10 Commandments, never before seen interviews, DVD raw materials, and there's a ton more. Like I said, I found this for $6. Let's take a look at the disc and fold it out. This probably came out back when like TV series coming out on DVD was a big thing, and I used to love that. Especially like Family Guy and stuff. You could buy all these Adult Swim shows on these big DVD cases. Look how cool. How cool is that? Cool discs as well. Is there a booklet in here too? Maybe it comes with a little booklet. Well, it's like an episode catalog. What episodes are on what discs. Osbourne's Family Album. I bought it from him because that's how you market. That's again, don't intentionally try and capitalize off people's death, but there may be an Ozzy Osbourne fan walking through that flea market who wants some Ozzy merch, and if you put it right out front and center for him, it's going to sell. So that guy thought of that day, and it worked out because I knew what he was thinking, and I wanted to oblige him. But other than that, I will probably never watch this. I'm going to donate it to a library at some point because I'm not a big fan of reality TV. Okay, we got one more today. And this one is called The Mutant Chronicles. And this is probably not a huge... This was not a huge hit at all. I was in... I think it was called Borders Books back in maybe 2007 or 2008. And I found a book called The Mutant Chronicles. And it was going to be a tie-in to this movie they were releasing. And the lead actor in this movie is Thomas Jane. He's another guy like Aaron Eckhart. Chiseled jawline, he's jacked. And he was in The Punisher. I'm sure you've heard of him and seen some of his movies. Amazing actor. He's one of my favorite actors. He's done horror, he's done action, he's done drama. I think he had a Showtime sitcom at one point. So anything I watch with him, I'm a fan of because I just think he's incredible. The way he delivers his lines, he's very serious, and he just comes across as badass, kind of like I'm a big fan of Kurt Russell. He's a man. He's 100% a man, and he's an incredible actor. And this movie, it's sort of about planet Earth is kind of on its way out. It's getting taken over by sort of bloodthirsty mutants, and there's not many humans left. And Thomas Jane is sort of part of the last little cluster of humans, and they're fighting to sort of stop the mutants and get off the planet. It's kind of fuzzy because I watched it in 2008, but excellent soundtrack if I remember. Good music in this film. It's got a good cast too. Ron Perlman, Hellboy, John Malkovich. It was awesome. I was a young kid obsessed with action movies, so I'm sure I thought it was amazing back then. It was very gory too. But I'm going to give it a rewatch soon because I haven't seen it in so long. And the book that I read was awesome. And the movie sort of... the movie and the book are pretty much word for word. It translates, very easily. I thought it was awesome at the time. And I think the Mutant Chronicles is based off of maybe a trading card game or a board game from the 90s. I didn't look too much into that because I wasn't sort of a fantasy board game kind of guy. But I watched it because Thomas Jane, once again, one of my favorite actors. Tom Jane. Excellent. So, some cool cover art, and we'll take a look at the special features. There's the back. And you can see him right there. Tom Jane, a handsome devil. Is and will always be one of my favorite actors, unless he does something horrible in the next couple of years. But I think he's safe. He seems to be a pretty good guy with his head on his shoulders. Let's take a look at special features. Disc 1, commentary by directors Simon Hunter and Ron Perlman. Disc 2, The Making of Mutant Chronicles, a documentary. deleted scenes, green screen, and storyboard comparisons, promotional teaser short film, interviews with the cast and crew, storyboards, concept art, Comic-Con panel, webisodes, and a theatrical trailer. So you get your money's worth with this movie. A lot of special features, and it wasn't an excellent movie, but I think I found this DVD. I might have found this at a flea market as well. I thought for a second maybe I found it in Half Price Books, but I think I found the DVD at a flea market, because I originally had the DVD when I was just a kid back in like 2008. But I think I lent it to a friend, never got it back, or I traded it to a DVD store for a couple bucks to buy McDonald's or something. But here's our discs. And what's cool about this is you probably can't see it from there, but there is a little ring around this disc here and around the second disc. Property of Euclid Public Library. So that's a shame. This wasn't a public library, but then somebody decided to not return it. Very classy. Don't do that. If you get something from a library, take it back so other people can enjoy it. But excellent film, and I'll remember it forever. I don't think this disc is in very good shape. There seems to be some tape on it. It might have gotten cracked at some point. I'll have to put it in and see if it works. Cool movie, and this disc is the bonus features. But that is that. Euclid Public Library. Where is the Euclid Public? Euclid, Ohio. If anybody out there is from Euclid, Ohio, can you let me know if the public library is still there, or if they closed down and sold all their materials, or if somebody checked this out and stole it. Shame on them. But I will hang on to this movie forever, because I'm a big Tom Jane fan. And that's a wrap. That was freaky, wasn't it? It was a Freaky Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wanted to do this today just because I'm kind of stepping into the future here, and sometimes the future is uncertain, but I wanted to start it off on a good note, do something productive, and I plan to do a lot more shows. I have a whole shelf of DVDs behind the camera here that I can talk about all day long. VHS tapes too, CDs, video games, physical media. It's one of my passions. I love it. And I'm sure I'll find a job at some point here, but I can't really buy any more DVDs to talk about unless I get one. So that's top priority. And support my wife, find something little to do, so I can help her pay the bills. And I don't want to leave her hanging out to dry. But thank you guys for watching today. But it's all going to be good. I feel good. Remember to like and subscribe. And remember to donate to your local library. If you have any physical media you don't want anymore, VHS tapes, CDs, DVDs, instead of trading them in and trying to get $5 for 100 movies, take them to your local library so that a family who might not be as fortunate can get a library card and take them out for free. But other than that, thank you guys so much, and I'll be back soon. But thank you for watching Cosmic Alliance of the Fist. Take care.